All right. Ravi Ray. That's a pretty fun name. I currently have a personal lender who will lend me all the funds to put 20% down on turnkey property in Alabama, along with any other funds needed for the property. My question, I don't know what to do to get started. And then that face. Okay, so you have a private lender who will lend you all the funds to put 20% down on a turnkey property in Alabama. So, assuming that you are meaning that they're going to lend you the down payment and any funds that you might need to address issues as they arise with this property. Here's the thing that I would still be mindful of, right? And this is really important is whatever the after repair value is, whatever full retail market value is for that property, you do not want to purchase that property for any more than 75% of the value of that. So if a property is worth $100,000, even if it's turnkey, there's nothing wrong with it. You can move somebody in that same day of closing. Do not spend more than $75,000 on that property. That's going to be best for you. That's going to be best for the lender. That's going to make you have the ability to acquire more properties because you're never going to have to leave any money in the deal. If we really like a property, we will deviate from that on occasion. However, we can't deviate from that often because as soon as we deviate from that, we start running out of money. Because the only way that you never run out of money is by never leaving any money in any of the deals. So if you're telling me you're going to buy a turnkey property and put a 20% down payment down, then I'm already getting a little bit nervous. I've got some red flags coming up because you're talking about 80% leverage from the bank. I'm assuming that this turnkey providers aren't generally known for giving discounts on the property. And then you're also talking about borrowing the 20% needed in order to satisfy the first lender, the traditional lender's 80% requirement. So if you're about to be 100% financed on a property, again, this is not the formula that I normally talk about where purchase price plus rehab costs equals 75% of the after repair value. You're talking about being 100% leveraged, is what I'm assuming. If that's not what you mean, then perhaps I'm speaking too extremely about the question that you asked. I would not be interested in being leveraged on any property at any given point greater than 75% of the full retail value. And I would also question whether or not you're going to be able to cash flow if you have the first position mortgage from a traditional lender that's presumably amortized for 20 or 30 years, and also a private lender for the remaining 20% at any favorable terms to that private lender. Be careful not to be in any property over 75% of the after repair value. And also make sure that you have a $100, $200, $300 cash flow after all expenses per month. I've already discussed this from an equity perspective, but that protects you from any downturn in the market. It also allows you to and I say it protects you in the downturn because if housing prices fall 25%, then you're still not underwater yet because you only have 75% of the total value borrowed. So you can withstand a 25% decrease in the market prior to being underwater on the value. Now, that only matters if you have any desire to sell the property. It also protects you in the sense of you do not have to leave any of your own capital in the deal, which means that you're going to be able to buy the second deal faster because you don't have any of your own money tied up in the first deal. The cash flow, the couple $100 per month, allows you and protects you from any downturn in the rental market where something occurs in that area where the rental rates may drop. You don't see that often without like an area taking an economic hit, like a larger employer pulling out, like GM did to Dayton in the 2000s. From a long term perspective, it is possible that you make money from financing 80%, borrowing 20%, and being 100% leveraged on the after repair value perspective. However, it's going to take an extraordinarily long time. So the four ways of making money in real estate are your appreciation, which you're still going to get. It's going to, on average, it's like 4% per year On that's a national perspective. Your local market may be lower, your local market may be higher. I have no idea where Alabama falls in that. The tax benefits, you're still going to get those. So you're still going to get your depreciation, and you're still going to be able to write off any repairs, maintenance expense, uh, and somehow the capital expenditures as well. So you're still going to get your tax benefits and appreciation, which again, very long-term play, and the money made on those aspects of real estate are not something that you're able to go out and feed your family with. You're also going to make money on the principal pay down, depending on how you have it structured with your private lender. Maybe not there, but definitely on the traditional people that financed the 80%, you're going to have some principal pay down there. Again, not money that you could spend or feed your family with. And then the cash flow from that perspective, since you're 100% leveraged, you might have some of it, you might not have some of it. But I think it's also really overlooked, but also very important to know that cash flow, while it is the only immediate option that you have to feed your family with, is also one of the smallest ways that you make money in real estate investing. So generally, you reach a point in the loan where the principal pay down is going to be greater than your cash flow after expenses. And then the depreciation is generally, after a couple of years, going to be greater than the cash flow on a month over month. And then depending on what type of condition the property's in and what you do to it, the tax benefits could also outweigh your cash flow. It's a massive balancing act, one that you want to be very, very familiar with. And I cannot, in good conscience, recommend that anyone be out there purchasing properties for greater than 75% of the after repair value. A lot more to think about. I needed to hear all this. Good. I'm happy you asked the question. I'm happy you were here. Thanks for watching that clip. I thought that was a good question. And I think you can ask good questions too. Join us every Friday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for a live stream Q&A where we answer plenty of questions just like this one. In the meantime, consider subscribing to the channel if you want more of this content. And if you want to increase your deal flow, analyze properties better, and help me feed my family, click the link below for a free 7-day trial of PropStream.